Hello Duelists, Tombox
And Oscar here.
And we're going to give you a set analysis of Clash of Rebellions.
The newest set to come out with Odd-Eye's Rebellion Dragon, one of my favorite cards.
Yeah, that card's pretty nuts. But before we get into this video, here's some highlights from our sneak peek pack openings.
If you want to skip it, just click here.
Hey guys, we're at the sneak for Clash of Rebellion. So this is the promo card, Sky Dragoons of Draconia. It's a vanilla, whatever.
It's pendulum though.
But the pendulum effect is not bad for vanilla pendulum monsters. Well, anyways, let's move on to the pack opening. So we're starting off with Cares packs.
Yay!
Okay, well, there's a Performance Pole, Extinction on Schedule, Red Eyes Metal. Dude, oh, she got Luster Pendulum. That's pretty good. It's pretty good for like investing in the future too. That's a pretty good start. Really one foil out of one.
That's the sneak card.
Next card. So Luster Pendulum will be played, be a commonly played pendulum card in the future. Wavering Eyes, Bubble Barrier. Oh, High Speed Roid, an Ultra 2 for 2 so far. Not bad.
The foil, I can't handle it.
Let's put
I'm not buying it anymore. I can't handle it. All the foils have been taken.
This is high on.
No foil.
Extra box.
Oh what? Storming Mirror Force.
Yay!
Wow. Let's hold this up. Hold it up for the camera.
Okay, here you go. Look and be jelly jelly.
Nice.
Super
well played.
I'm not buying anyone
This is
foil.
what it means
Keep
to be
going.
good at
The luck has
game.
been
You got one more. You got one more pack. Are you gonna get another foil? You are pulling a Kenny right now.
Ew.
This is pretty nuts.
Which kind of sounds gross. Not gonna lie.
Holy Kenny.
Ew.
Did you get another foil? You got a fusion. Oh, is it? No, it's not.
The DDG? What is
Oh
that?
my gosh.
It's a DDD fusion. Not bad. Not bad.
I don't know
Your
what it
packs are
does.
pretty good.
Pretty good. What are you kidding me?
So okay, it's Tombox. My turn. I hope I pull as good as Care, because oh my god, her pulls are pretty crazy. So Aroma Garden, Shell, Drumurilla, Cosmo Goodwitch. I guess that's not bad. This is the TCG exclusive archetype. Starting off with the super is not bad.
It's not bad.
Oh, let's move that aside.
Oh my god.
Trapeze.
Oh, that's a really good XYZ. That's actually a really fun thing.
Huh?
And
No, that was too high.
I guess they're all common. Heck yeah. But it's really good.
Nice.
Nope, so far nothing crazy.
He can play Clown Blade, you know.
Nope, only one super.
Yo, Trick Clown. Nope.
Yeah, that's Trick Clown.
Yo, is there damage juggler?
I did not. Alright, we have one of our friends, Eric, opening his packs now.
Come on. Oh, this card's really good.
Let's move forward.
Oh my god, Pot of Duality.
Oh, he's got a Red Eyes card.
Red Eyes, Archfiend of I don't know what it
Archfiend
is.
of Lightning.
Is that good?
Yes, it's Summon Skull.
Oh, that doesn't make it very good.
No, but it's for the fusion. It's for the fusion. That's not bad. It's a 25 beat.
You gotta summon. Oh, Trick Clown, nice.
One I really like. It's a really good card.
The deck you can't play anymore.
Because we don't have.
Thanks, Konami.
He can still kind of play it. It's not that bad.
Okay. Get out of here.
Yeah, before.
Bad level up change, make Trick Clown common with a joke. Here we go, here comes the secret.
He's got something, I think. Cosmo.
Oh, Despot 5, yo!
Get some hype.
Despot 5, man. I'm all about the Despot one.
Oh, he's got a fusion. Oh, the Infernoid.
Oh, that's actually a good card.
Yeah.
If Future Fusion was a card.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Now you can make Infernoids. Armor deck's $30.
I think Matt might want that from you.
Yeah, he actually will.
Alright, last pack. Let's see what he gets.
Oh my god, Trick Clown!
Oh. Still better than Tombox.
Not bad. Clearly, because
All right, next one up.
very good.
Trick Box.
I know, because you play at a great
Performage. Bird of Lost Paradise. Aromage. Oh, it's gonna.
Oh, Decatron.
Decatron. More stuff for Matt.
now we
I think Matt wants this, yeah. Damn.
Matt all day,
Okay.
man.
Anything else? Not really.
No,
I pulled the
it's
sneak
too
card.
It's not bad, not bad. That's a good start, good start.
The squad is getting good cards here.
I know.
Except Tombox.
Oh,
Nope, nothing here,
some
but he got an
Ignite
Ignite Lancer. He's got a hat trick in there.
No, the hat trick. Is damage juggler common?
Yeah. Every
They're all
single, all of
common.
them are common.
Yo, that's so troll.
That's good. They're introducing an archetype that most people can play on a budget.
Oh!
Absorb Fusion. What is
Jesus.
Absorb Fusion?
It's a Gem Knight card. It lets you Rhoda for a Gem Knight and then fuse.
Put it up here.
Hey, that's really pretty. The colors are nice.
Yeah. It's fine. It's an Ultra. I would have preferred something a bit better.
It's okay.
Whatever.
Bit better.
Alright, here we go.
I
Yo!
got so many Ignites. What the hell? They're all common.
Yeah, now you can make ignites.
I have a set of Heat Waves somewhere.
Now you can play ignites.
Here we go.
Oh, Wavering Eyes. I forgot this is a common.
Nice, yay.
Yay,
I can't believe people buy supers for $5.
Nope. Kenny, you failed
Oh,
to
for the
pull.
first time ever, Kenny pulled shit.
It's not that bad. Not that bad.
I could have pulled better.
How does it feel, Oscar, to open?
I pulled really bad. Look at this. I have no foils at all.
What are you talking about?
But what about these?
Oh my god, they're not even mine!
Okay, so now we're gonna go into some money cards that we think are gonna be really, really expensive in this set.
Yes. Starting off with the most hyped one, Eccentric Arcfiend.
Yeah, I love this card. This is actually one of my favorite cards in this set. It's a very high utility card, one of the best utility cards to come out since Galaxy Cyclone. On the pendulum scale, it'll be an MST, and on the board, it'll be Exiled Force. And if you're playing a pendulum deck, and keep coming back to remove cards.
So once per turn, you can remove one monster on their side of the field by destroying them. That's not bad. That's a pretty
It's a very
effect.
good card. Fortunately, it's a secret rare. Right now, it's floating around $50, $60. I feel like it'll probably settle around $30 though, just because in TCG it's not as good as it was in OCG because there's no degen lock.
Yeah, without the Gin Lock, like this card did seem like it came out a bit too late. It would have been great to formats. I think personally, I think if it came out earlier, this card would be way expensive. So the next card, a lot of people kind of have been hyping about would be Mistaken Arrest.
Yeah, so it's a one-turn kind of mistaken arrest.
So it's like if you're playing cards like if you personally search cards in your deck and
like Necros.
you don't want your opponent to search cards, you can't really run the trap Mistake because, well, it shuts you down too. This is the option that you get. And honestly, if you actually did pull this card, I would hold on to it as it is a very commonly sided card against the OCG Magispectors, as every single card in that deck searches.
Yeah, personally, I feel like the card is a little lackluster. I don't know, a lot of people have been telling me it's a great card, and I see it as a side deck card. It's got a lot of merit, but it's got a really big price tag on it right now.
How much is it?
I think it's around $40, $50.
It's probably gonna drop.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna drop down to shared ride level, maybe like 10 to 15-ish. Hopefully it's there's a lot of prints of it, so it's not very expensive, because it's kind of like a staple side deck card. Okay, so the next notable card we have is Storming Mirror Force.
Yes. Now, Konami's starting to make Mirror Forces that are blended with other cards. So Storming Mirror Force is the Compulse plus Mirror Force baby right there.
Yeah. Also, fun fact, there are now 9 Mirror Force cards you can make Mirror Force Dragon with.
Really?
Yeah, someone told me that. Pretty interesting.
Radiant, Regular, Dark. What else is there? Storming.
Okay, 12, I guess. Anyways, Storm Mirror Force, pretty good card. Depends on the meta, really. I don't feel like it will be every deck will be playing it. It's not Solemn Warning, but it's a very good card that we'll see play depending on the meta.
Yeah, like Like, I would use it against Shaddolls, even though Shaddolls have Shaddol Dragon that could pop it. But if they don't, if they have a board full of extra deck monsters, blowing them all back without destroying them will prevent them from getting their effects off in the graveyard. That is really good.
Yeah, so I feel like you'll settle maybe $20-$25 card, kind of like the peak price of Mirror Force, but obviously not as good as Staples Mirror Force back then.
So one can dream that if Konami does make every single Mirror Force, I would hope for one called Dimension Force. Be like D-Fish.
Like, what is it like?
It would be Dimension Prison and Mirror Force blended into one, like Black Sonic, right?
Yeah, the best card, generic Black
Every
Sonic.
deck would run it.
Holy.
Anyways, we deviated a bit too much.
Okay, so the next money card that I think is Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon. I feel like this is probably one of the most nuttiest cards to come out that you can actually make. It feels like one of those anime cards that you see that require like 9 level 9 monsters to make, and it'll like basically win you the game. But this card is actually makeable, and its effect is basically Scout, OTKs, Recurrence, Regeki, all thrown into one card that will basically shit on your opponents. But pretty hard to make though.
It's pretty difficult to make, but if you're gonna play the Pendulum Masters of Pendulum structure deck, that archetype, the Pendulum Magicians, you definitely have the option to use this card to its fullest potential.
Yeah, there's a lot of variants of Pendulum Magicians, and the Red Eyes variant is pretty good. And they'll also be able to make this Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon, and it just destroys your opponent.
Crazy.
Yeah.
One of the cards that you probably will need in this set to make this dragon at full potential is Zanka Magician, also known as Antithesis or Destruction Magician in OCG.
Yeah.
This card on the scale, it's a super rare. On the scale, it's a scale 3. It has the ability to turn one of your ranked monsters into levels so that you can overlay with them. So you can overlay with your Exceed monsters. The other effect is when it's on the board, it's literally just, it's similar to, actually there's no cards it's really similar to, but it has a quick effect to negate light monsters. Which is not bad, it's level 7.
Yeah, Pendulum Magician is definitely a very good deck coming out,
Yeah.
but not in this set.
We wish.
Yeah. So the next money card that we see is one of my favorite card arts, Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
Gorgeous card,
Really
nice in Ultimate, and Ghost Rare is also pretty nice, but you can't really see the art, unfortunately.
It's white.
Yeah, it's just a white card. But gorgeous card, very good card for Red Eyes decks.
A really good card in general as well, because his effect is literally a preemptive cowboy. Like right now, although not a lot of decks run rank 7s, in the future when the Pendulum Magicians come out, they are going to be rampant, and this card allows you to sit on the board while preventing your opponent from playing cards, because every card that they resolve will burn them for 500. It's like preemptive cowboy.
Thomas has a different look on it from me. I feel like the card effect is actually a little iffy. I just really like the art. That's pretty much it.
It's a good generic.
Yeah. So next we're going to be moving on to some really good commons or super rares that we found in the set that aren't going to be worth a lot of money, but you should be looking for play sets of anyways. So the first one we have, of course, the infamous Chicken Race. If you haven't seen our sketch, it'll be right here. But Chicken Race, a very good card, FTK enabler. Kind of wish.
I kind of wish, yeah, Konami did something about it. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, this deck is a really consistent FTK. You could ruin a lot of people's game 1 if you win the die roll. However, if people know that you're playing it, they'll always choose to go first, whether or not it's advantageous to them. They'll try to prevent you from getting it off. Effect Failure, Fiendish Chain.
Yeah.
If they went first, they're definitely gonna negate your
Pretty
card.
cancerous
And
deck.
without
It's an FTK deck. so.
without Cyber Dragon Infinity, it's not as strong. Because the OCG variant, they'll dump everything into the graveyard, play Soul Charge, put Infinity on board, and then burn you to death because he can negate you now.
Yeah, it's definitely not a deck that I want to see stay in the meta for a very long time.
It is a short printed card, however.
Yeah,
So
but Chicken Race, very good card. If you don't have a copy or a playset, make sure you pick some up or look for them when you're opening the packs. Okay, so the next card that is really good side deck card, it's also a common, which I'm very surprised about, is Retaliating the Sea.
yeah, that's a really good side deck option. Good against.
Absolutely shits on Shaddolls, and it's pretty good against Necros. Not exactly the best, but pretty good. What it does is when your opponent activates a spell card that will special summon a monster, you can summon it. and then when it summons on the board, it's basically a macro Cosmos. And when it's sent to the grave, it will search another kind of C inset card, searches max C, so pretty good hand trap.
Good combo, good combo on those two. And another card that's really good, even in not now, it'll be good in the future, which is Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. He is a dragon tuner pendulum monster.
Whoa.
So he's one of the first pendulum tuners.
Yeah.
But he is restricted to only syncering for Draco Slayer monsters, and cannot be used as an exceed material.
Yeah, the pendulums are coming.
Pendulums are coming. Like they are like this card, although he's great as a monster, but he thrives in the pendulum zone because he can pop the other pendulum scale on your side and then search the deck for another copy of it. In other words, fueling your extra deck with pendulum cards.
Yeah, a lot of different nutty combos I could see happening with this card in the future. Unfortunately, its summoning restriction is a little weird, but it's kind of like a taste of what could happen in the future with tuner pendulum cards, which will honestly create some of the most nutty decks I think will ever come out in Yu-Gi-Oh! The next card that we have, we think it's a common, and it's a trap card. It's called Balance of Judgment. It's basically a draw card depending on how many cards your opponent has on the board and your hand, etc. It's not a really good card right now. Not that much hype behind it, but I feel like it has a lot of potential in the future.
If you draw cards equal to the surplus of what your opponent has. It actually says the word surplus
yeah,
on the
use the word
card.
surplus on the card. It's pretty interesting. The wording of Konami definitely taking a turn.
That was unexpected, but I was like, it's not really playable right now.
Yeah, it's not playable right now, but I feel like it's something that, you should just, if you see it, just keep 3 for yourself, put it in a box, and maybe one day it will come out.
Yeah. It'll probably go towards another one of those just draw decks.
Yeah.
Most likely an alternative win condition.
And now the most important rare and super card of this set that is completely under the radar. No one knows about it at all. So if you're watching this right now, pay close attention. The super rare Fluffle Mouse, I think, will be worth about $99,999.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, basically the cutest card in existence. I fucking love this card.
See, forget your rescue cats, your rescue rabbits. Nothing comes close.
Yeah, I want a binder of Fluffle Mouse. If you have Fluffle Mouses, send them to me, please. And the best rare of the set, Drag Gong.
No.
Yeah,
no.
it's the fucking hilarious.
No.
It's the best card. It's the best pun. Okay, it's like dragon, and then they add a G on the bottom of dragon, and it's like Dragon Gong, and they drew a dragon and just put a gong on its belly. I think it's hilarious. Everyone thinks I'm an idiot.
Oh, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Moving on. Okay. So now we're going to go into how this set will impact our current state of the game. So right now, this set specifically introduces 4 new archetypes and revitalized 1. So the 4 archetypes that were new, I should say, is the Cosmos, the TCG exclusive. We have Aromages, Performages, and also Ignites. And as for the revitalized, we have Red Eyes.
Yeah, well, Kaiju is kind of a new archetype too, but honestly they have so little cards and it really hasn't seen much that it's not really playable at the moment.
Godzilla. They have
Godzilla. But yeah, the 4 main archetypes that are introduced and the one that is being kind of reintroduced are the ones he mentioned. But honestly, I feel like in terms of impacting the meta, none of them are really going to be tier 1. Red Eyes has potential to be tier 2, but I feel like tier 1 is still the big 5 until the next set, unfortunately.
Oh, next set. The next set is meta changing.
Yeah, it's going to be a meta shift soon. But yeah, right now,
you can say that
the
this
archetypes are playable, but they're not very impactful.
Like, you can say that this current set is like preparing you for the next upcoming one. A lot of the cards are actually handling some of the new cards.
Feels like Primal Origins, actually.
Yeah. So, archetypes. Why don't you get us started with Cosmos?
Yeah, Cosmos, actually, it's a pretty interesting archetype. It's based on Star Wars and Wizard of Oz.
Really?
So, yeah, actually it is. That you have like an X-Wing
I didn't pay attention to this.
and a Dorothy. I don't know. It's really weird.
Do you think it's just like American-based
I don't know. Like one of the girls has a Han Solo jacket. It's really obvious, actually. It's really nice art too. It's based on like Star Wars and
That's news to me.
space, etc. Called the Cosmos, right? But they have basically mostly rares, except for one super and one ultra. They have the 2 rares, which are the 2 spaceships, Slip Rider and Forerunner. So Forerunner is their boss monster. It's 2800 and
Can be targeted.
yeah, it can't be targeted. And it gains 1000 on the standby. Slip Rider is their MST when it's summoned, and Farm Girls are ultra rare. And it's when it attacks, it's like kind of like Fire Fist Bear. It'll search a card, and finally,
Good Witch.
Good Witch. Yeah, they're super rare, and it is a Book of Moon, so it'll turn a monster face down.
Well, one thing to know about this archetype is they've got a pretty good floating ability.
Yeah, so when the spaceships are destroyed, they'll banish themselves and then summon one that's lower level than it. So it goes down like the spectrum into the psychic monsters, which is the Witch and the Farm Girl, and those can special summon the high level spaceships by banishing themselves from the field. Now their field spell Cosmo Town really brings the archetype together because it'll be able to add back monsters that have been banished from the banished zone to their hand by paying life points, and when it's destroyed, you can basically Rhoda for a Cosmo monster.
I'm pretty sure you can look up a crazy combo with them and Ancient Fairy Dragon.
Yeah, I think if you play all 3 Cosmo Towns with a bunch of banished cards, I mean, there's a lot of setup involved, but you can get like 6 monsters to your hand with like 2 cards or something. It's really nuts. But the set right now and the archetype is not exactly very good.
They have 5 cards. Like, they have exactly what Oscar just mentioned. 2 of the psychic monsters and 2 spaceships and the field spell.
Yeah, so they really only thrive in low resource environments. But I feel like this archetype has a lot of potential, because the more monster comes out, the better it is, and the more nutty your combos can be.
They remind me of Yang Zing's plus the playstyle of UA in a sense.
Yeah, it's
The way that they're
pretty good comparison.
So the next archetype, I would say Aromages. What do you think about that one? They smell nice. I think they smell nice.
Yeah, they're like a plant-based kind of the little girl archetype. You know, they always have one. Hello, Trap Tricks players. You now have a new archetype to play with. You can maybe mix it with Trap Tricks. I don't know.
Possibly.
But it's a plant-based, so you can use Lone Fire and a lot of the plant support with the deck. And basically, the monsters benefit from having more life points than your opponent. Also, they also get additional effects when you gain life points. Okay, so the first monster they have, which is a common, it's called Kanaga. And basically, it bounces spell or traps on the board, and it's not going to be worth much. It's basically a common card. The whole archetype actually is not worth that much money. Now, the second card is Rosemary. Now, it's the ultra rare, and it changes battle positions. Maybe this card will settle at around $10 tops.
Maybe less.
Yeah, maybe even less. The archetype is not... it's like, you know, players who want to play an archetype that they like visually. Nothing wrong with that, but that makes the card value go down, so good for them actually. And finally, their secret rare, which is their best card. Screw you, Konami.
Always make the best cards secret.
Yeah, it's
chase cards.
Yeah, it's basically when it's normal summon, it'll be a caster, so you can normal summon an additional monster, and when you gain life points, it'll draw a card.
Oh right, yeah, that was pretty nice. Yeah, I was playing that online.
Yeah, that's their best card, obviously. And finally, their last monster, excuse my pronunciation, Bergamot.
Sure. Let's go with that.
Yeah,
no respect for him.
It's a higher level, so you can't be normal summoned Aromage, but it's kind of like the boss monster. It'll do piercing damage, and it'll gain attack if you gain life points. So
it's like ancient sacred wyvern.
Yeah, not as good though.
Okay, well,
yeah,
there you go.
It's not the best card, honestly.
Alright, for the next archetype, we're going to be talking about Performages. You guys know them as the Trick Clown, Hat Trick.
Yeah, or the Clown Blade Engine.
Yeah, like these guys. They're all common, so you can pretty much pick up like the full set, maybe for like $3. It's worth it. They're really good cards, even now. And
I think Konami didn't shaft us by making it all secret and then bang the level chain. That would be terrible.
So this archetype was splashed together with heroics, and specifically 2 heroic cards: Assault, Halberd, and Thousand Blade. Thousand Blade and Trick Clown were like pretty much long lost brothers.
Yeah,
They
one
synergize
of the best synergies
so
in the game, you know.
well together. They
One
are-
warrior and one clown.
Who knew?
Who knew?
What is this? The King's Court?
Opposites attract.
This is like the King's Court, pretty much. Well, since the banning of Lava Ball Chain, the hype of this deck definitely died because it's too slow. And in TCG, Necros is still very strong. A lot of people can still run rank 4s. In other words, they have access to Rhapsody, and Rhapsody can banish stuff out of your graveyard. And because the setup is slow, like what I really mean by saying it's slow is that sure you can get your Blade in the graveyard, your 1000 Blade and your Trick Clown into the grave, but if you cannot put it back on the board, it's gonna get banished. And the moment you lose your 1000 Blade, your engine has stalled, and you have to restart it.
Yeah, it's also really hard to set up too, because usually in the Clown Blade deck, they would play cards like Gold Tinfish or Goblinberg, and then they would normal summon it, and then they would special summon one of the cards that they draw, like the 1000 Blades or the Trick Clown, and then they make a level chain and then dump one of the other one, and then dump the Performage or the 1000 Blades, and the whole engine will get started. But without level chain, it makes it really difficult to start the engine.
Yeah, this deck is like the fastest rank 4 Exceed I've ever seen. Literally on your own turn, after your opponents, after you use Ptolemaeus to hold on to your guys and then make a rank 5, and like blow away a card with Pleiades, you just get your clowns back, and then you just right away exceed into like Castell or something for TCG, and then just blow another card, and then he comes back again. You literally have not played a single card in your hand, and you have blown away his board.
Yeah, Tombox is a little sad about this because he really wanted to play that deck. Meanwhile, I was just like, oh, maybe I'll just Trishula it away or something. I don't know. I'll deal with it later.
Now Trishula, like, before it was very difficult to Trish the card because as long as they sit as materials, they'll still go to the graveyard. Not anymore because it's very hard. You're just too slow to like keep up with all these decks that can banish. But however, they are still playable in like Shaddolls.
Yeah, so Shadow can play Trick Clown or the Clown Blade engine. They can make it with Construct, so Performage is a bit light, so they can make Construct with it. And of course, 1000 Blades is the Herbs, they can make Shikanaga with it. It's a little difficult to get out though, but it gives Shadows a lot of extra material or kind of options to play around because they usually had problems making rank 4s. They can only make 1 or 2 a game, but now with the Clown Blade engine in the deck, they can make tons of rank 4s. Unfortunately, this brings up problems that Shadows always have. Is what do I put in my extra deck?
Extra deck space is super
Maybe
tight
I'll
in
cut my
Shaddolls.
third construct.
Or
Said no one ever.
Maybe, but there is another way to play the Clown Blade. I don't want them to say I don't want to say they're dead, but you can run the King of Feral Imps variant. You can just spam King of Feral Imps, just constantly search Gigabyte. Gigabyte can be special summoned as long as you control a spellcaster. And, well, all the Performages are spellcasters. So if you can spam out hat tricks and Gigabytes constantly, you can make a very fat board and go for an OTK play. This is one of the only ways I can see it still being
and they have a Trapeze card with 2 spellcasters, which is a really good card actually. It's a rare, and it'll let you attack twice with a monster, and then it'll destroy it at the end phase, or you can also target your opponent's monster and then destroy it. So a pretty good card for spellcaster decks for rank 4.
Yes, definitely. So for another archetype, this is one that was played a lot in OCG at one point. Ignites.
Yeah, Ignites.
Ignite!
An archetype that was been in OCG for a pretty long time now, and we finally get in TCG. Unfortunately for TCG, they did it right, and they changed the ruling, so Master Key Beetle, it used to be if you target one of your Ignites, Key Beetle would protect it from being destroyed, and then your other Ignite would activate, and then you would search, and you just basically have one Ignite on the Pendulum Zone, and then the other one would just cycle through your whole deck like Substitute, and it would be nuts, and then you would just have your whole deck out in your Pendulum Zone, and then you just Pendulum 5 like every turn. It was quite actually insane, but they changed that ruling in OCG, and it's not going to happen in TCG, I hope. And Ignites is kind of an iffy of a deck. You can play it as like an OTK deck, but then you kind of fall short because a lot of decks have lots of removal or Necrosis Valkyrus. You can also play as like an anti-meta deck with Heat Wave and some back row that don't hurt vanilla cards, kind of like Skilled Rain. But I don't know. Well, it's interesting to see where the archetype goes. The archetype is very cheap though.
So many of them are common. Like most of the pendulum monsters are common part, like except for 2. One's a super and one is an ultra. But honestly, they're all vanilla. This is like the only archetype that's strictly vanilla pendulums.
Yeah, and the Ultra, I think it's Templar, Ignite Templar. I think it's their best one. Not by far though. It's the level 4. I think pendulum scale 7. So, and it's also 1700, so you can normal summon it without the scale. Their best one, kind of. I don't see it going very expensive. Probably $10 to $15 tops.
Probably will drop.
Yeah,
unless it
definitely.
sees like significant play. Unless like the OTK part of it is like super consistent to the point that people feel like it's degenerate. Then yeah, sure, why not?
No,
But
I don't
right
feel
now,
like Ignites would be
like
that
crazy. Like
meta impacting.
because most of their monsters have relatively. I'm not even saying weak. Their attacks are awkward. They're like
Yeah,
they're not.
They
They're
have some
not
big. They have some big beaters.
But their big beaters are like 22, and then and
It's
then
like it's supposed to be like a fast-paced OTK deck.
well, that's not like we didn't count the effect monsters though. Like they're different. We don't really know how they work out too well. So maybe you guys can tell us in the comment below. All right, for our revitalized archetype, the Red Eyes. This archetype has been revitalized at least twice. Once from the structure deck.
Yeah, and then it came out as with the Red Eyes Wyvern, Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon deck.
Yeah, like the Chaos Dragons like abused it too.
Yeah, a
during the
little.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that deck was there too. But now we're gonna get the Gemini variant, like the fusion variant that we all been waiting for. This deck, well, this archetype has a Red Eye specific Summon Skull. And they also have a Gemini, another Gemini monster, which is the Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon.
Yeah.
So these cards have built-in spell effects in them. So Summon Skull has his Makiyu spell, and Red Eyes has Infernal Fire Blast. Of course, you only get their effects after you
Gemini summon them.
Yeah, Gemini summon them. For instance, now this archetype gained a lot of support. They got spells. They've got their own little Redstone of Legends. They have the Black Metal Dragon, which searches like a Red Eyes search all. Unbelievable. And then of course they have their new fusion spell and the fusion monster. Like all of these cards combined make them a very solid deck. They are a very burn oriented deck, I would say.
Yeah, it's a very aggressive play style where they want to just put big monsters on the board, swing, and then burn you for game. It's very
Quite
aggressive.
scary.
Yeah.
Now let's go into specific cards. Now Black Metal Dragon, the search all can just equip onto any Red Eyes card except for Black Chick. All these cards exclude the Black Chick because it's pretty useless. And once it's sent to the graveyard, you can search your deck for a Red Eyes card, which is really nice.
Yeah, pretty good card.
Luckily, he's common, so you can expect to get him for free. Next card, unfortunately, the Stone is a secret.
Yeah.
And it's going for like
actually
30.
a lot of the cards are very high rarity and expensive for some reason. I mean, it's a very, very pretty archetype, but very expensive. So rest in peace your wallet if you're trying to buy that archetype.
Yeah. So the Stone, I'm like right now it's priced around 35. Probably settle down to like 25.
Yeah.
Just because this card is a Lone Fire Blossom.
Yeah, it's a very good card.
And not only that, when it's in the graveyard, it has recurgence. It can put himself back in your hand by shuffling one of the Red Eyes monster back into your deck. Like, what is this?
It's nuts. And the draw power card is basically what is Cards of Consonants? No, it's the...
It's like Destiny Draw plus
like
Foolish Burial.
Yes, Destiny Draw plus Foolish Burial, two of the best cards in the game. It's absolutely absurd.
Like, why? Like, and the one great part about it is shuffle. It dumps a vanilla Red Eyes monster into the grave so that you don't have to draw it.
Yeah, you have to draw your Red Eyes Black Dragon.
But who cares if you do? Like, because even if you draw your Red Eyes, you can also use Red Eyes Fusion. Red Eyes Fusion is like Shaddoll Fusion, except that you don't have your opponent does not need to control a monster from the extra deck.
Just do it.
Just do it. But there's a restriction where you cannot special summon anything for the rest of the turn.
Yeah.
This card can summon out your boss monster. Damn, he's such a long name. Arcfiend Black Skull Dragon. There you go. It's just Arcfiend on top of Black Skull Dragon.
Yeah.
He's a 3200 beater, which has the effect when he attacks, you cannot respond with anything. So no card or effects can activate in response to this card's
So a
attack.
Star Eater-esque effect, kind of.
Yeah, something like that. And if he deals damage, on top of the damage, he will burn you for one card in your graveyard. For one card in their graveyard, that is a Red Eyes monster. So expect to at least take 24. expect to take at least 24 on top of that 32, whatever you might be blocking.
So a ton of damage. You're taking a ton of damage.
Taking a lot of damage. This archetype is very fast, mainly because of all the new support that came out. And like consistency-wise, you're getting good consistency from like the search all and everything. Overall, this archetype, a lot of supers, secrets, and ultras. Pretty expensive.
Yeah, and I don't feel like it'll be very meta impacting. It might be tier 2 at best. I feel like there may be some consistency issues in the deck.
You're running vanillas.
Yeah, you're running vanillas. I don't know.
But definitely you can use Secret Sword of 7 stars on top of the cards for Red Stone.
There's a lot of options in the deck, and there's a lot of cards to play around with. But I don't feel like it will be tier 1, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much it for the set analysis of Clash of Rebellions. Hopefully you guys liked our analysis, and if you have anything to comment or anything we've missed, please leave a comment down below.
If you like this video, make sure you subscribe.
And don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV.